3. Altruism. Avoid your own pains by concentrating on the prayers of others. Maybe can heal yourself and feel good by healing them and helping them to feel good. 4. Attack. The best form of defending is attack is common saying and this is also common action. And when we feel threatened or attacked even psychologically, we will attack back. Example, a person having a problem with her computer, she angrily bangs the keyboard. 5. Avoidance. In avoidance, we find ways of avoiding having uncomfortable situation, things, or activities. The discomfort, for example, may come from unconscious sexual or aggressive impulse. Example, I dislike another person at work. I avoid walking past her desk. When people talk about him or her, I say nothing. 6. Compartmentalization. It is a divide and conquer process for separating truth that will conflict with one another. This may happen when there is different beliefs. Displacement. It refers to the shifting of action from a desired target of a substitute target when there are sonate reason by the first target is not permitted or not available. Example, the boss gets angry that should at me. I go home and shoot at my wife. She then shoots at our son with nobody it left to displace anger onto the ghost and kick the dog. 11. Dissociation. Dissociation involves separating a set of truth or activities when the main area or conscious mind in order to avoid the conflict that this world causes. Example, a religious person preaches kindness to all yet is purely strict to children without realizing that there is a conflict between the two. 12. Emotionally. When we become stressed or attention or cause a number of negative emotion may start to build, including anger, frustration, fear, jealous, and so on. Fight or fight reaction. When we perceive a significant threat to us, then our bodies get ready either for the fight of the death or desperate fight from certain defeat. Example, a lion suddenly appeared in front of a person while walking in the forest. That person may choose to wake the lion to run away to save his life. Help him rejection, complaining, a person become upset or otherwise elected supporting action from other people when helpful suggestion or other comfort is offered. Example, a person complains to her partner about problems at work. When the partner suggests ways to resolving the problems, the situation are rejected out of hand and the person continues to complain. Idealization. It is the overestimation of the desirable qualities and underestimation of the limitation of a desired thing. Example, a teenager in a way of a rock star idealize his or her idol, imagining him her to have a perfect life, to be kind and truthful, and so on. He or she ignore the star grosser habits and root background. Identification. It occurs when a person changes apparent face on his or her personality, such as he or she appears to be more like people. Example, a girl dressed like her friends as much because she likes the grab as any conscious desire to be like them. Intellectualization. This refers to a fight into reason where the person avoids uncomfortable emotions by focusing on facts and logic. Introjection. Introjection occurs as a chopping mechanism when we take an attributes of other people who seem better able to cope with the situation than we do. Example, I have to give presentation but feel scared. I put on the hat of Abraham Lincoln and imagine I am confidently giving an important speech address to the nation. Passive aggression. A person who are passive aggression method to cope with this stress does it by thinking other truth passive means. Example, a salesperson such as persuasive sale pattern. The customer aggressive that this is just what he or she want. Post-traumatic growth. An individual who has suffered a traumatic experience somehow find ways to turn into something good. Example, a mother who has lost a child to mother who lost their child to cancer raise significant money of cancer charities. Projection. When a person was uncomfortable truth, the feeling he or she may project this onto other people, assigning the truth of feelings and he or she need to present to a convenient alternative target. Example, an unfaithful husband suspect his wife of infidelity. Provocation or free floating. When a person feels stressed, his or he way to avoid dealing with the real issue to improve is to provoke other in some kind of reaction. Reaction formation. Reaction formation occurs when a person feels in a urge to do or say something and then actually does they say something that's effectively the opposite of what he or she really wants. Rationalism. When something happens that we find difficult to accept, then we will make up a logical reason why it happens to rationalize to ourselves. We also find it very important to rationalize to other people, even those we do not know. Example, a person fails to get good enough result to get into chosen university and then say he or she didn't want to go there anyway. Regression. Involves taking the position of a child in some problematic situation rather than acting in a more adult way. Example, a person who suffers a mental breakdown assumes a fetal position, rocking and crying. Repression. A repression involves placing uncomfortable truth is relatively inaccessible area of the subconscious mind. Example, a child who was abused. A parents later has so recollection of the events but has trouble forming relationship. Self-harming. The person physically deliberately hurts himself, herself in some way otherwise put themselves as high risk of harm. Example, slapping oneself, punching a hard wall, cutting oneself with a knife, reckless driving, taking narcotic drugs, taking. Somatization occurs where the psychological problem turns into physical and subconscious symptoms. This can range from simple twitching to the skin rashes, probably, and worse. Sublimation. It is the transformation of unwanted impulse into something less harmful. Example, I am angry. I go out the chop wood. I end up with a wonderful pile of firewood. I am also filter and nobody is harmed. First, outing. This means literally acting out the desire that are forbidden by the superego and yet desired by the id. We trust cup life pressure to do what we believe. Example, an addicted gives it to her desire for alcohol or drugs. 2. Aim inhibition. Sometimes we have desire and goals that we believe or realize that we are unable to achieve. Example, a person who sexual desire another person but unable to fulfill that desire. Compensation. We are a person was a weakness in one's area, they may compensate by accentuating or building up strength in the other area. Example, a person who failed the math excellent in English. Conversation. Conversation occurs where cognitive tensions manifest themselves in physical symptoms. The symptoms may well be symbolic and dramatic, and it often acts as a communication. Example, a person's arm becomes suddenly paralyzed after it has been used to threaten to hit someone else. 9. Denial. It simplify Refusing to acknowledge that an event has occurred, the person was affected, simply acts as if nothing has happened, behaving in ways those other may be raised. Example, a man hears that his wife has been killed and yet refuses.